Good afternoon. I'm presenting Team 13's Week 13 deliverable, a comprehensive validation of the ResourceSync SaaS business model. Over the next 10 minutes, we'll walk through two deeply integrated pieces of work. First, a choice-based conjoint study deployed through Sawtooth Discover and Prolific that tests whether ResourceSync achieves a genuine best value position in the market. And second, a pro forma revenue cost profit model that validates financial viability in year one. Together, these analyses form AVID Methodology Step 8. Test the business model. Let's dive in. ResourceSync addresses four chronic pain points in mid-market project and resource management. Teams today struggle with unclear task ownership, reactive rather than predictive risk management, manual conflict detection across resource pools, and limited cross-team transparency. ResourceSync is a SaaS platform built specifically to solve these problems, offering defined ownership for every task, predictive alerts that identify risk before they materialize, automatic conflict detection across programs, and full transparency that improves accountability and trust. Our target segment is approximately 15,000 mid-market accounts currently underserved by Microsoft Project and Smartsheet, or forced to make do with Excel-based tracking. We designed a choice-based conjoint study with 6 attributes at 3 levels each. The first 3 attributes, ownership clarity, risk prediction, and conflict detection, are the top differentiators carried forward from our Week 12 study, with Week 12 part-worth utilities of plus 65, plus 61, and plus 47 respectively. Attribute 4 captures social value through transparency. Attribute 5 is brand, controlling for reputation effects. Attribute 6 is price, anchored to the Week 10 value-based price of $1,440. Each attribute has 3 levels mapped to the proposed solution, the solution in use, and the next best alternative. The study was built in Sawtooth Discover and deployed through Prolific, targeting 100 qualified respondents. Quality controls included Prolific ID collection for traceability and 2 attention check screener questions to filter inattentive respondents. Data collection ran cleanly, and the dataset was verified complete before analysis. From there, we ran part-worth utility calculations, market simulator predictions, and differential value analysis in Discover. The outputs on the next several slides all come directly from that deployment. No synthetic data, no adjustments. Unlike Week 12, where value concentrated in just a few attributes, Week 13 shows a balanced distribution across the 6. Ownership clarity and risk prediction remain top drivers, confirming they solve real coordination problems. But price now plays an equally important role, and social value, specifically transparency, ranks nearly as high. This tells us respondents are making realistic trade-offs rather than defaulting to a single dimension. Critically, brand has the lowest influence at roughly 9%, which means customers are choosing on functionality and value, not reputation. This is a strong signal for a challenger brand like ResourceSync entering an established market. Part-worth utilities reveal where value is created and destroyed. ResourceSync's top 3 features generate the strongest positive utilities: defined ownership at plus 58, predictive risk alerts at plus 55, and full transparency at plus 53. Conversely, the Excel-based alternative generates deeply negative utilities: unclear ownership at minus 60, no transparency at minus 57, and no risk prediction at minus 54. Price does introduce a real trade-off. The low $600 price generates plus 23 utility. Our $1,440 price generates minus 38. But, and this is the critical insight, the positive functional utilities dramatically outweigh the price penalty. Customers are willing to pay more for meaningful value. Summing part-worth utilities across all 6 attributes produces a decisive result. ResourceSync achieves a total utility of 149, the highest among the 3 solutions. The solution in use sits near neutral, and the Excel alternative is strongly negative. The differential value between ResourceSync and the next best solution is 334 utility points, a margin that, in conjoint analysis, signals clear and dominant preference. The market simulator translates these utilities into predicted shares of preference. ResourceSync captures 79.4% of the market. The solution in use retains 14% on brand familiarity, and Excel appeals only to a small, highly price-sensitive segment at 6%. Market share alone isn't enough. We need to understand switch dynamics and customer value surplus. For Excel users, the case is overwhelming. The customer value surplus is enormous because users gain ownership clarity, predictive alerts, automation, and transparency simultaneously. The $840 annual price delta is trivial compared to the value created, so switching hassle is easily overcome. For Microsoft Project and Smartsheet users, switching likelihood is moderate to high. Value surplus remains strongly positive. The $240 annual delta is minimal, and switching friction, migration effort, and retraining is clearly offset by superior functional utility. A small price-sensitive segment remains on Excel due to budget constraints, representing only about 6% of the market, which does not threaten ResourceSync's dominance. The combined evidence validates ResourceSync's value advantage strategy. We dominate 79% of the market even when price is included as a choice attribute. The 334-point utility differential is large and defensible. Brand has the lowest influence, meaning we're not relying on reputation we haven't yet earned. We're competing on substance. And functional and social value utilities together outweigh the price penalty, creating a sustainable willingness to pay premium. ResourceSync can credibly command $1440 per user per year because customers perceive, and the data confirms, genuinely superior value. Assignment 2 translates the business model validation into financial terms. Year 1 gross revenue projects to $864,000, built from 750 first-year customers at 80% paying conversion and the $1440 price point. Operating costs total $604,800 across 4 pools. $180 in direct costs, $120 in indirect, roughly $145 in variable, and $160 in fixed. That produces operating profit of $259,200, exactly 30% margin, which matches our required target margin. Most importantly, the calculated target cost equals the required target cost to the dollar. The model is internally consistent, aligned with Week 6 costs and Week 10 pricing, and financially viable. Hitting the target margin required active target costing. Our initial cost estimate ran about $42,000 over the required target cost, driven by over-budgeted marketing spend and a third engineering hire. We executed 2 optimization passes. First, we rephased the third engineer to Q1 of year 2, preserving the roadmap while reducing fixed costs by $50,000. Second, we shifted $8,000 of paid marketing to owned media content and SEO. Lower cash costs with acceptable payback. The result? Calculated target cost matches required target cost to the dollar, and the calculated profit margin is exactly 30.0%. Target costing validates the Week 10 price point. Our recommendation is unambiguous. Proceed with ResourceSync at $1440 per user per year. The business model is validated on both dimensions. Strategically, we prioritize continued investment in the 3 top value drivers: ownership clarity, risk prediction, and social value through transparency. We maintain our strong conflict detection capability and our value-justified pricing. And we monitor brand, which has low current influence, but builds over time with reference customers. Immediate next steps include developing a year 2 growth model, launching a reference customer program to build brand equity, and expanding predictive risk capabilities to deepen our functional moat. Thank you. We welcome your questions.